Back out here for about a 2-hour practice today. They were off yesterday, rest and recover, and so we had a good walkthrough and two meetings before practice today, and watched a lot of the scrimmage. Kind of what we thought from the scrimmage. There were some really good individual efforts. As a team, we weren't as clean as we need to be. There was some lack of focus, things that showed up. I thought we got better as the scrimmage went along, but we're going to have to come out and start faster in order to play well. So. They all heard the message on that, and we came out today with some good energy, and it was competitive. So obviously a little bit different week this week with school starting, so a little bit different practice setup for us. But again, just another chance for us to come out here and work on some of the things that are kind of individually that we need to work on and collectively as a team. So.
What are your thoughts on how guys like Weaver and Psalms have been doing, and Hamilton at their new
they've been doing a
spots?
good job. I think it's benefited all of them, and it's benefited us.
What have they each brought to their new spots, and what kind of prompted you to move them where you moved
Just
them?
a chance to make our team better. Evan playing inside, he's a physical guy. He can run. He's pretty natural in there for not doing it much. He did it some in high school, so it's been good to see that. We're going to rep him, continuing to build his reps this week. Malik gives you a little different element out there. He's a skill guy, moving from the safety position to that kind of outside backer position, and we can use him at another spot we call the coin, which is an important spot for us too. So just a guy that can match up tight ends in the slot if you need him to, and still a physical guy. And then
Hamilton is
Hamilton moved outside and has done a nice job. He had his most productive day in terms of live football last Saturday, so it was good to see him. He's a real smart guy, and he's taken the position really well, and it's benefited, like I said, it's benefited him, and I think it's benefited us.
Did you get any clarity on the quarterback situation looking at yesterday at the reps?
I think there were some really positive things that really showed up later in the scrimmage. I don't think as a group and the quarterbacks specifically, we didn't start as fast as we would have liked, but I think each of the guys did some good things.
Will you be making a decision on that at some point and sticking with it, or do you think you might play a couple of them at different times early in the season?
Yeah, everything's really on the table, and wish I could give you a better answer. We're letting it play itself out, and our team's done a great job, really, no matter who's in there, of just focusing on what their job is and doing what they need to do. And so when the time comes, we'll name them, and it's not off the table to play two guys.
Are you encouraged by the progress at the position?
I think it's definitely gotten better and better. I mean, which it needed to, and but I can sit here and kind of talk through each guy and the things they've gotten better at, which that's what you're looking for.
Was there significance to the number of reps each of them got? As Forrest seemed to get quite a few fewer than the other three.
Yeah, it's how it played out this weekend. So yeah.
How's the tight end situation? Is anybody starting to separate themselves in that competition?
It's still really competitive. Kyle Wells is getting the majority of the reps. You're getting some of the younger guys, some opportunities in there. We have the other position we call the big position, which is kind of that fullback hybrid type guy. So we're working some of those guys as well. So yeah, trying to find the right combination of guys that can help us when we want to get bigger on the field.
You have very little experience at O-line. I think you got 16 starts back from a year ago. How do you evaluate how they've done so far, and how much concern do you have about whether you have enough depth there?
Well, I think you always want better depth. I don't know that I've ever heard a coach in college football say they have too much. Obviously there's not a lot of experience coming back, and that's part of our game. Sometimes that happens, and we're training the guys at different positions to make sure we always have the best available, and that's where we're at right now. And they've done a really nice job of learning and growing. I think you see the improvement week to week and day to day, and that's a tribute to those guys and Coach Graywood.
Are there things you have to do with your offense to, compensate for the lack of experience you have on the line right now, or do you think you have to rely on those guys with what you got?
Well, anytime you build an offense or a defense, you want to build it around what you do best, kind of play to your strengths, so to speak, and we'll do that, whether it's at that position or the receivers or the running backs, and same thing on defense. So we're going to find out what we do the best on offense, and that's what we're in the process of doing at every position, and then build our schematics around those guys and those positions. And I think that's what, tribute to Coach Greatwood and Bo. That's what they've done such a great job of, is, what do we do well, and let's build it around that.
With the past couple of weeks being simulated game weeks for you guys, are you planning on continuing the trend with something this Saturday, maybe a practice earlier or later?
Yeah, this Saturday will be more of a practice, but it'll be an early practice on Saturday.
You guys have focused a lot on tackling during camp.
Yeah.
What do you think of that when you look back at it on
I
video?
think it's in the 2 scrimmages, it's definitely gotten better. I think they are understanding what we're teaching them and how it applies to the game when it goes live. And you do certain drills. We work it every day, and we meet on it. We have a tackling meeting, and you can go through all the drill work, and I think they understand the concepts. But then you got to go out and perform it. And I think they've done a better job. I mean, I think especially even looking back at spring, some of the growth we made there, and technique-wise, taking good angles, those type of things have shown up.
In the past few years, when folks have lamented the lack of tackling and said, well, bring some of the rugby guys in and teach them how, is that something that you ever thought of bringing some of the rugby guys down? And
well, yeah, we've talked to Jack, not specifically about that, but the rugby tackling, we do use clips to teach off of some of the rugby tackling and being a shoulder tackling team. Yeah.
How has Trey Watson evolved in it? It looks like maybe he's becoming a leader on your team. I wonder what you think about that, and what do you expect from him this year?
Yeah, we need Trey big time, and he's obviously played a lot of football here, and he's a talented guy, and he's going to be called upon, and we're going to need him to make big runs for us and big catches and protect, and I think that's part of the maturation process for him, no matter if it was a new style of offense or not, but taking that next step in his game. And
is he embracing that?
Yeah, I mean, he comes out with a good energy and good attitude, and so we need him, and we need him to step up and play really well and be a leader for us.
And Demetrius, can you talk about what you expect to see from him this year, and how he's, what he's done in camp?
Demetrius is, because obviously spring he was doing track and wasn't with us. I mean, he was with us, but he wasn't practicing, and so I think you see the kind of the weekly growth and understanding the offense and becoming more of an expert at his position. He obviously can take the top off, as you guys have seen, and just some of the little details of the game. I think he's getting better and better, and the great thing is he's hungry for it. He really wants it, and he takes time to learn it and ask good questions, and it matters to him, and his team matters to him. He really loves the team.
Pretty high ceiling for him?
Yeah, definitely a very high ceiling. Absolutely.
Anybody else?